Hello, good morning, everyone, and I wish a very happy Mother's Day to all the apprehensive mothers who are present here today. Have a good day. We are meeting again today to continue our discussion with Ms. Nivedita on the concerns of how future preschools will be. I'm Ratna Ghosh, the head of school at Capstone High, and I'll be taking you through today's session along with my colleague, Ms. Shabina Farhat, our EYP coordinator, who will be helping me moderate the session with your questions backend. We will discuss some of the questions that were lurking in your minds in our first and second webinar session with Ms. Nivedita and realized that there are still some more that needs to be addressed, especially for the young parents of preschoolers. Hope this session will clarify most of your concerns, if not all. It is a strange situation, and we all in it together. We will sail together. Each day is a new learning for all of us. As the spread of COVID-19 grappled the world, uncertainty became the new reality. And now that the lockdown is planning to be lifted, our concerns are changing shape. How will school life be, especially for the little ones? With the lockdown enforced before the academic session closed, we were wondering, how do we manage the year-end closure? Our teachers quickly reskilled themselves to plan and organize virtual classes using various online platforms that they were dare not ventured regularly earlier. Online guidance was given to students. EYP students completed their worksheets under the virtual guidance of their teachers, supported by their parents at home. Thank you, parents, for all your support that you provided to our students. Like we had the virtual year-end party for EYP students, we will have virtual weekend meetings and interactions with teachers with the EYP toddlers and EYP students to maintain the emotional connect. Revision worksheets and assignments on Google platforms were completed as the year-end summative assessment by our third and fifth grade students with great sincerity. Students and teachers adapted quickly. The zeal and excitement of the students and teachers were at its height. We are sure our little ones will also enjoy their learning journey on the Google platform, supported by their teachers and you all parents at home. We will be using Google Classroom platform for all our assignments, for which each child has been provided with a school email ID. I'm sure you all have access to the email ID and have downloaded the Google Classroom on your devices at home. Blended learning is going to be the new normal. The daily routine will have 30 to 45 minute slots with numeracy, literacy, knowledge and understanding of the world, planned for parents to follow in guiding children at home to learn at their own pace and time. This will be done through a combination of demo videos by teachers, activities, storytelling session plans for expressive art and design, which we call EAD, and physical fitness will also be shared. The plan will also have juice breaks and free play slots slotted out too. Our session today with Ms. Nivedita, an education consultant for many upcoming schools and institutions across India, and our academic advisor will surely enlighten your path through COVID-19 tunnel to see you into a new momentum of EYP learning journey for your child. We hope this session will help many parents and large early childhood teaching community in providing solutions to the many thoughts that are hovering in your minds. Without much delay, let me take you through the flow of events. We will follow a few norms through the session. Your microphone will be in mute, controlled by the host. Your video will also be off. If you have any questions that you would like Ms. Nivedita to answer, please put it on the private chat box. If you are joining the session through Facebook or your Instagram, please put your queries under live comments. We will have a wrapping up session at the end. We will complete all discussion points from today's webinar and share with you all in a week's time. We hope we will be able to answer most of your concerns, if not all. It is a hard time ahead, but we will pass it. Pray, wait, and trust. Over to Ms. Nivedita. Welcome to the webinar session, Ms. Nivedita. We are looking forward to an enriching session with you.
Thank you, Dr. Ratna. A very good morning to you and to our parents, fellow participants, educators, and happy Mother's Day to all of us, because in more forms than ever, teachers perform the duty of mothers, and actually mothers also perform the duty of teachers. And in mothers here, I think it's an inclusive, nurturing parent noun that I am using. So good morning and thank you for signing in on a Sunday morning. It's a pleasure to have this opportunity of interaction during these times, because I think just as the children are missing school and the parents are missing their children going to school, the most missing we are doing is teachers are missing their children and schools are missing the sounds of the children. So we're really missing, and this is a privilege to be able to have an interaction with the school and parents, and hoping that between us we would have raised enough questions and found some concrete ways of addressing some, if not most, of the critical concerns that are in your minds about the school, about education, definitely about education of the youngest ones. We always feel for the younger children, the days are very long and the years are very short. So we don't want to miss these growing years of our children. At the same time, we want to make great use of the long days our little, very young children have, because these are such precious years of growth and development for the young ones. So it would be great if all of us can partner together, all of us can work together, bring our understanding forth. You know your child, we know pedagogy and your child. We can work together and figure something out, figure out that we don't have a formula for this, we don't have a playbook for this, we don't have a key to the answers, to the questions, but we do have an attitude of ensuring that we will work with our children and with our parents to ensure education happens, growth and development happens. It's a challenge for you as parents. It's a challenge for us as school. It's definitely a challenge for teachers as we are learning at the pace of crisis. We've not done this before. We always told our parents to keep the devices away from the children. We told our children to keep devices away. We told our teachers to do more hands-on learning and not device-led and video-led learning. And here we are working to learn how to work with video with our children. We are trying to tell our children to focus on the screen. So the challenge will be how to keep a certain between the child and the parent, so we can learn as adults and then do hands-on with our children. It is a challenge. I'm sure things are brewing in the mind. I'm sure Shabina, as our EYP coordinator, has faced many questions already. Not to mention Dr. Ratna, because you're leading this school from the front. So let's begin, and let's hope that together, even if we don't find all the answers, we find all the questions so that we can together work out the solutions, and we can try, by trial and error, we can perfect those solutions in a shorter duration than otherwise it would have taken us. What do you think, Dr. Ratnam?
Absolutely. As you rightly said, Miss Nivedita, it is a learning journey for all of us. It's a new learning. These are the real life challenges that we talk about. And 21st century this year has really brought us extremely new challenges that we are faced every day. And now that the plan to lift the lockdown is coming, I think we as institutions are facing a lot of apprehensions. How do we cope with issues? How do we cope with social distancing? How do we manage kids when they come to school? How do we plan our timetable, whether it's virtual class and or whether it's physical classes? So probably blended learning, as I mentioned earlier at the introductory session, is going to be the new norm. So here we have to partner with each other, and as you mentioned uh, in your introductory message, summertime the days are longer, more so for students when they have to be confined at homes and they cannot meet their friends. So we have a lot of questions that has already come, that had been a concern for teachers as well as parents, and we would like you to address a few of them. Like a question posted by one of our parents are, what is the future of preschool during and after COVID-19?
That's a nice, big, hairy question, because preschools are the most susceptible ones in during this time. There's a big question mark on preschools, and there are a number of reasons for that question marks, and all are valid reasons. Whether it is because they are very young and their immunity is still developing. Up to the age of 6, the immunity is still developing for the young children, and they fall sick often, even in normal course of schooling. So in this situation, there is the biggest concern is of their health and safety, because they are still developing their immunity. So that's number one concern. Number two concern is that if the school is open partly and partly is online, can they do any online learning, and how much can they do, or then they do online learning? We are used to our children hugging us, kissing us, giving high five, holding them. They're used to very physical touch, physical nurture. So, how will they respond to a virtual screen time learning and respond to connecting with teachers on screen? So, that is a big concern. The third concern is when they come to school, will the school will be completely equipped to ensure their safety? Then what will the school do on and off? See, for young children, what we have always seen, when they come back after a holiday, we have to do a settling in time again. So in this situation, when if we are trying to do blended on and off, sometime they will do online and sometime they will do come to school, whether it is staggered or shift or um, odd and even, whatever, even if we ensure social distancing in school, for them to emotionally attach and detach physical and online, it's a tough ask for young children. Last but not the least is that parents would consider that, would they rather do homeschooling and not enroll in a school, because it is fraught with so much of concerns. So those are valid concerns. Those are real concerns. I was speaking with a couple of parents just a couple of days ago in at great length, because they were all considering homeschooling. And my suggestion to them was to reconsider that thought process, simply because when you are homeschooling, you have the complete responsibility of education, nurture, and development on yourself. When you yourself have multiple responsibilities to manage. In such situation, even if the school is online, even if the school is staggered, even if the child goes once a week to school, you have the teacher to lean in rest of the days, to learn from, learn with, share your concerns, uh, and ensure that all the growth milestones or the learning milestones or the learning outcomes are managed, because teacher is adept at doing it, and she will work it out of what can be done at home with you and what can be done with her online. I must share here one very interesting thing one teacher shared with me, because children are missing the touch, right, the chat. So what she did was, she's in between that snack time, where what you mentioned in your timetable, they have done the snack time online, which means the cameras are on and children are sitting with their snack and food with the little tiffin boxes, and they're chatting away. They've forgotten that it is a 2D on screen. It's not a 3D, so they have completely forgotten. And she sent me a little video, and it was hilarious, but it was very heartwarming. They were completely chatting, like including, like, can you it and it was from north, so including they're telling, वो ये आम के अचार की खुशबू आ रही है, she's having a matri with a pickle, and they're sharing with it. The other child can smell the pickle, because they have forgotten that this is a screen. And it was such an absolutely endearing situation. So
I'm sure,
we
Miss
don't know how
Nivedita,
our children will respond to it.
I'm sure, Miss Nivedita, that will also help them imagine. Like
Yeah.
while they are seeing their friends, and they can, if they are saying that khushbu aa rahe hai, so
Huh?
they can feel the khushbu. So it will
Yeah.
enrich them with their sensory nerves, and
Yeah.
also with their imagination.
Yeah. It was very sweet. I thought our parents will love to hear that. Yes.
We have one more very important question that we need to probably answer. How effective will online classes be for EYP students, especially for pre-K students who are new to the school setup?
Ah, yeah, that is a challenge. So I was speaking to a daycare person, because the parents, and this is in UK, because the parents have to go back to work, and they're working in shifts, and they don't have the luxuries of many Indian homes that we have, to have a help or a family to take care of their child. So they're opening daycares in staggered. So what they're doing is, the parent is actually virtually meeting the daycare provider, the daycare teacher, the people who are going to interact with the child to begin with. So they are showing the child, the teacher on screen, and they're meeting that, oh, this is a special auntie, this is a special miss you are going to meet, and Miss is going to tell you this, Miss is going to sing you songs. So the teacher is singing the song, the teacher is telling a story, the teacher is sharing a little about herself, and the child is sharing a little about them, even with very little words. But the sound and the sight are very strong in young children. So they are meeting their teachers online even before they would go to the school. So people are devising interesting methods of familiarizing the new person in the child's life. For some time, the parent may need to sit with the teacher and the child as a like a tripartite discussion, and over time, the parent might hand over the child a little for like a few minutes to the teacher while the teacher makes a conversation, but a lot of it will be that the parent will actually learn from the teacher. Teacher will provide the resources to the parent with in short durations, like a 10-minute activity session which the parent will take further at home, but she will lean in on the teacher to know the structure of the lesson and to figure out what would be the outcome. For example, developing eye hand coordination of a young child. So the teacher will give many examples of activities that she would have otherwise done in the classroom, and share what to observe, what kind of things to give, what kind of outcome will it lead to, and then review with the parent again. This review will happen on a daily basis, but for short durations, as to what the parent did and what was the outcome of it. It is a very interesting mix of homeschooling and schooling, but just with an expert on hand, which will be the teacher. So
Right.
it will be a task, but it is possible until such time that we are physically opening the school. We don't know, no one knows when we'll open the school. We have to wait for the directives, government directives for that. After that, the parents have to feel secure about the school. In all this, the school has to become ready for social distancing and safety and hygiene and all of that. So while all of this takes time, we our children are going to grow, so we can't wait for the learning to happen, for the situation to normalize. We have to continue learning as they are growing. The child will be 2 year old only now. Tomorrow they will be 2 year and 1 day old. And as we know, every week is a milestone for a 2 year old. Every month is a milestone for a 3 year old and 4 year old. And for a 5 year old, every 2 months there's a milestone. We can't let go of that. So, yes, it will be a task for a new child and a new parent to the school, but the teachers are gearing up, the teachers are learning, and the teachers are collaborating with other teachers world over to learn how each of us have done things. And we are bringing that learning together. It's a fantastic time for collaboration despite the despair, isn't it?
Absolutely. And our what we are seeing, the reports that we are getting from parents, the children also have matured very fast. Like the teachers are quickly adapting to different situations. Children are also matured very fast in the virtual world.
Right.
So, as we discussed earlier, we have this question, and based on the concerns only, we have identified how we plan to do our sessions virtually. How will self-paced learning be planned online for preschooler? I would ask Rajneesh to go back to slide number 11. So we have planned for self-paced learning, where we have, as I mentioned earlier in my introduction, that we have planned for literacy, numeracy, for knowledge and understanding of the world, along with little gaps in between, where we can have juice break or snack break or expressive art and design. So parents, you may go through this. This is basically a day's plan, which will be guided by the teacher instructions to be followed at the comforts of home. Ms. Nivedita, if you have anything to add on to this.
Yeah, this sounds like a fantastic plan. And I would suggest, like, in the snack and juice break, keep the camera on so that children can chatter. And I mean, we thought that we will give those times as a offline sessions. But what I'm learning from this little school in Jodhpur is that they are keeping the cameras on. Actually, it remained by mistake, and the children just started enjoying. So now they have made it formal that they keep the camera on, and the children are walking in and out and chatting with their tiffins and making small talk with their friends, and getting to know their friends, getting to hear their sounds, and telling, "वो पीछे घूम कर दिखाना कौन सा clip लगाया है? What kind of a clip have you put today?" So they're doing all of this. That pink clip or that glitter on your shirt, or what they are seeing in their house, or if they are sitting with their toys, they're showing. So the children are bringing in a little show and tell is happening informally. Otherwise in class we have to devise a show and tell. Here, the children are coming in with their favorite sipper and a little picture or a little doll or their favorite pencil box, and having a chat. So it's actually amazing how the children show us the way. In school, and also the class, also they show us the way, and on offline, online, they are all showing us the way.
And actually, that brings in the emotional connect.
Yes.
It's a new learning experience for everybody. And as we noticed during our EYP virtual party, they were meeting their friends virtually after maybe about 3 weeks gap. And they were bringing their toys, they were bringing their dogs, they were bringing all their pets to show. It's a wonderful learning experience even for a teacher. I would request Ms. Shabina to bring up some questions that she might have in her bucket. Shabina? Ms. Shabina? So while we wait for Ms. Shabina, maybe I'll put my next question forward.
Sure.
When will preschool possibly reopen? And should preschool open post-corona?
There are discussions going on. There was a panel of school advisors and school owners with the policymakers in Karnataka. Also, different schools different states are taking some individual decisions depending on where the state is, and also depending on which zone the school is. So decisions are being taken. We don't have any written document from them yet. No directive as yet. But preschools presumably and understandably will open the last. It will be the senior school will open earlier, and even when they open, the parents would be a bit apprehensive about sending their children. So that is because the school will open as and when the directive comes. If they are in a green zone, then the parents are ready to send. And also the smaller preschools, they're finding it difficult to that is individual preschools, they're finding it difficult to ensure that they can have all the measures possible because of their infrastructure and resource issues. But the schools which have larger spaces, bigger infrastructure, bigger classrooms, and bigger open area spaces, because they are making canopies. I have been in discussion with another large school which they are making canopies in the outside spaces, especially in Bangalore, because we can work outside. So they're making canopies in the outside spaces and putting children at distance in little bamboo fences. It's very cute actually. So because little children will forget about distancing, so they're putting little bamboo fences and they're putting little hats with a scale, like the wooden scale. is being stitched to the hats, and children are trying it out, and so that they remember that this is the distance that has to be maintained. They're also doing a lot of hand washing with soap and water, because for young children, alcohol-based sanitizer is creating some issues in the hand, and also they're rubbing their eyes and all.
It
So
is
soap,
sensitive.
yeah, so soap and water is being done. So the schools which are able to get themselves ready for that, the parents are more comfortable considering those schools. But as yet, no, the schools are getting ready, but until we get a directive, we will not open. Is what the school's stand is. But the schools are getting ready.
I think I have Miss Shabina here. She has a couple of questions that has come from the parents. Miss Shabina, if you can put up your questions for Miss Nivedita to answer.
Yes. Mr. Srinivas has a question wherein he says, what suggestions would you give if both the parents are working and the pre-K kid is new to school without knowing his or her friends and teachers? They feel it is going to be very difficult to have them engage virtually.
It is going to be difficult. It is not going to be easy, but we're ready to be surprised by the children. We are going to go ahead and make those efforts, introducing children one on one, two on one with the other children virtually, introducing teacher first virtually along with the parent, uh, and knowing about each other, chatting each other, getting familiar with the sounds and the sights of the teacher and other children. uh, Children have a very strong sense of imagination. They have a great sense of fantasy. So when they can imagine their little toys as people, they give them names and imagine a world around the toy. Similarly, they will imagine a world around other children. Teachers will take them on a tour of their space. Children will take them on a tour of their space. So they will try to connect. If it won't be as sweet and as heartwarming as a hug, but but a song and a story and a smile will go a long way. So yes, it will be difficult. Yes, it will be a challenge, and different children will take to it at a different pace, at a different level. We have to be patient. It will be difficult, but we will come through it.
Miss Shabina?
Yeah,
If
the
you
next
have another
question,
question.
Miss. Yeah, the next question, Miss Nivedita, is how will self-paced learning be planned online for preschoolers?
Um, you know, in preschool, and Shabina, you would agree, being a very experienced preschool teacher, that all learning in preschool is self-paced, and more so in capstone. In most classes, we have tried to keep in capstone, isn't it, Dr. Ratna, to keep it for the child as much and more as a child can learn. So we keep certain outcomes specifically, but those outcomes are not content oriented, they are concept oriented, they are skill oriented. So definitely in preschool, self-paced is anyway, even offline, even within school, it is self-paced. The learning is self-paced, because especially because in the early years, not all children grow at the same pace. Actually, all through the school years till adulthood, they are growing psychologically, physiologically. There is It's a great time for education when we can match up to the aspirations forever that we've been there for pedagogists, to make all learning self-paced and not one size fits all. So teachers will devise the outcomes, teachers know the outcomes, and each of the child's learning will be individual and self-paced, and I don't see a conflict here. What do you think, Dr. Atma?
I think, Ms. Nivedita, as a school also, we believe in the unique child, and we believe that each child's learning style is different and it has to be self-paced. So whether it's pre-K or grade 10, we do have, even higher classes, we do have an individual education plan for each child to support each child's learning needs.
Right.
So here also, particularly in this stage of life, when just the previous question that Ms. Shabina had put forth, what if the parents are working? We have devised a plan which we just now shared. We will not keep it in a tight compartmentalized schedule. We will plan it for a 30 to 45 minute session, and parents can take them up as per their convenience in the confines of home, as per the convenience of the child and the child's pace of learning.
Right. And I also understand that organizations are being more flexible with the working hours of parents and scheduling of both parents, and possibility of scheduling at different timings, shifts, possibility of taking breaks in between for schooling the child at home. Also, great time for entrusting your extended family, even if they monitor online. There are parents who are asking the uncles, aunts, grandparents to monitor. If they're at home, great, you're lucky. But if not, they are monitoring online the child, which is like very cute. The grandparent is looking online at the child while the child is learning online their class. It is quite an interesting setup, and it's easy to set up technology wise between webcams and device cameras. Yeah,
I think that will help in the emotional bond between
yeah,
the grandchild and the grandparent also,
yeah.
even if they are not in station together.
Yes, yes. So we will, as and when we come to know of these things, what other people are doing, and as and when we get to know what specific issues each of our parents are facing, we will try to suggest solutions that are suitable to your situation, to your child, to your devices, and to your arrangements at home. Because we are privy to a lot of solutions that people are devising. So we should be able to support you with some suggestions that may be helpful for you case by case.
Maybe we can take your next question up, Ms. Shabina.
Yes, the next question is a very pertinent question, actually. I think, and as a parent, as an educator, it's hovering in everybody's mind, is around when will the preschools possibly reopen, or should preschools open only post Corona?
Yes, I think partly we did discuss this, but the fact is that what is post Corona? We don't know. We don't know when is post Corona, and what will be defined as post Corona. Will it be defined post Corona when the number of infections will go down significantly, or when there will be no deaths, or when there will be a vaccine? What will be post Corona, and can we stop till then? Since we are educators and not scientists, we will get the information as and when it comes. So, to your question, that when will it open or whether they will open, we don't know. Whether we can learn, whether a preschool can learn, and whether a preschool teacher can teach, the answer to be is yes. So, should the preschool open? We may not be the best people to suggest that, because there are experts in policy making and in scientific world. As of now, the good part is that the science is dictating policies world over, not the economy. So yeah, if the science is dictating the policies, we will wait for the scientist to dictate the policy maker, and we'll do accordingly. But as far as we are concerned, we're teachers and we are going to open our school this way or that, online or blended, with you, along with you. So preschool, all school will open as per calendar, to the best of our abilities, at the speed of our learning, at the speed of our collaborating. Uh, so physically, when it will be open, um, God knows, or Corona knows, or scientists know maybe.
Ms. Nivedita, I have a question that has come up from the Facebook or Instagram in our live comments. My son is not interested in online classes. How to deal with it?
Good question. Difficult answer,
This
but
is by Ms. Rachita Santapure.
right. So it will happen. Online classes for small children to focus on is difficult and it's very short lived. So you will have to learn with your teacher for your child, and then work with your child. And each day will be different. Each day you might want to introduce a little of online session with the teacher, or with the friends, or with your relatives, to start getting used to the screen itself, even for short durations, and then work with the teachers, to with your class teacher, share what your child is interested in, and she might bring it, like what we do in school. See, all children don't sit quiet when the teacher is taking a class, or all children do not focus for the similar length in time, for the similar intensity. But what does the teacher do? She devises things around the child's interest. So if a child is interested in cars, the child is interested in dinosaurs, the child is interested in colors, the teacher will devise the learning with the things that the child is more interested in, and get it going. So do discuss with the teacher. She has experience of figuring out how to get the attention, how to get the focus of the child, and ensure that the learning outcome is done with your child, or with you, or both together, around the areas of interest of the child. She will figure out the learning outcomes, irrespective of whether the child is able to focus online or not. Does that sound all right?
Yes, yes, definitely. Here we have another question related to that. What early years activities can be done at home?
Um, I would say a plenty. I've spent many years working with preschool teachers and preschools and parents, of course. Uh, so, a range of activities, which of course your teachers will share, but a whole lot of activities at home, of sorting, of matching. For example, a parent devised, along with the older sibling, a treasure hunt in the kitchen with masalas. So the spices in the kitchen was a treasure hunt. They have texture, they have smell, and they have names. And sorting and matching is a mathematical skill. So
That's interesting.
they did all that. So there are plenty of such activities which the teachers will come up with and share with you. There are activities with Dasara dolls, when the dramatic play was devised at home. There are activities of role play when you can set up a picnic by covering two chairs with a dupatta, and underneath.
You're taking us to our childhood days.
Yeah, yeah, we used to play ghar ghar, no? And so
Ten.
the kitchen, lot of role play is possible at home, and role plays are fantastic in building numeracy and literacy skills. Little children have set up little restaurants, juice bars, at home, selling real things, make believe things, counting monies. So a whole lot of literacy, numeracy, and social emotional development can be done at home. Everything that can be done in a classroom, most, if not all, can be done at home, but under the guidance of a teacher, because she will tell you how much to extend that game, how you can extend that game, what kind of sand play or water play can you do, what can be the learning outcome of what kind of game, what can you do to increase the eye hand coordination, what can you do to develop the gross motor skills, what can you do to develop fine motor skills, what is the milestone of your child, of a 2.5-year old, is expectation from the child. You can do a whole lot at home. Also, as the lockdown is gradually opening up, you may want to uh, buy the educational aids, certain educational aids in consultation with the teacher, like blocks and puzzles, make clay at home. All of those things are possibilities that you can do. You can do a whole lot with materials and yourself at home. Of course, it takes time. It will take effort to do it. But the good thing is that you don't have to think about it. You have a teacher who will think and plan and give it to you in a platter, and you can implement it, because thinking will take a lot of more experience and reading and pedagogical know-how, whereas implementing will take your nurture and care, um, which you can do in partnership with your family members. Does that sound kind of a solution?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think imagination has no boundary. So, and even if the parents can delve into their childhood games, and which we are losing out on, maybe we can bring back our childhood and support our kids at home. Miss Shabina probably has a few more questions for you to answer, Miss Nivedita. Over to Miss Shabina.
Yeah, the next question is, will early years program lose its momentum post COVID-19 lockdown?
Uh, I would wonder why. Why should, I mean, why would it lose momentum? Um, can I get more clarity on that? Why are we thinking, so that we can address that? Why do we think we will lose momentum post COVID? We don't even know when is post COVID and what would be defined as post COVID. I would like to believe that if anything, we will get more creative with the EYP. Because EYP is all about what are the learning outcomes and what are the milestones that we need to ensure our children achieve in their learning curve. It is not about the knowledge they will acquire, but it is about the skill and attitude they will acquire. I don't see any lack of knowledge that they'll acquire, but I do see that they will miss out on a bit of hugging and kissing, which the parents will need to make up, which otherwise they would get a lot in school from many more people, which is a bit a loss for both teachers and the child. But I don't see that the program itself will lose on momentum. In fact, the program will be further enriched, because the quality, the kind of the level of teacher parent partnering that otherwise we expect but do not get because of parents being busy with their schedules. Here, parents will be busy with their schedule, but because as teachers we have no option but to take deeper collaboration with the parent, and parents have not much option but to lean in even more on the teachers. I think we will, if anything, we will develop a deeper bond with the parent at this point in time. So actually, EYP will be richer at the end of it, because the collaboration of teacher and parent to nurture their child will grow deeper. So of course I am optimist and I'm a teacher, and And I believe that teacher-parent partnership is extremely key to learning and growth of a child.
And that's what we believe in at Capstone High, the partnership between teacher and parent. And I think COVID-19 has brought us closer.
Yeah, that's a silver lining amongst all of this. Yes, there's a lot of distress, there's a lot of uncertainty, but that's something which is not in our control. What is in our control is to learn more, get better, collaborate further, and understand each other's distress. Even we see our teachers who are parents themselves of young children. Um, it is stressful for them to manage their home, their child, learn new things. But as we have seen over the past few weeks, the teachers have come out stronger, even more hardworking, if that's at all possible for a teacher to be even more hardworking. They have become even more understanding of each other's situations. I'm seeing how we are learning. I'm 54, and the speed of learning which I have from these younger teachers, it's, I mean, the way they are being compassionate with us, patient with us to teach us is remarkable. So I think we have grown as people, and thus I'm sure we will be growing more close with the parents, understanding their issues more. Parents will understand the confabulations of teachers more. If the parents are techie, and they can help us with some situations, it's most welcome at this point in time. Please go ahead and suggest if you are seeing some other platforms, some other materials which are more useful, which could be brought into education system. This is a time for us to learn from you and with you.
Absolutely, as you rightly said, Ms. Nivedita, this is the time we cannot look into the negativity that COVID-19 has brought in. We have to strengthen our control points.
Yes.
The earlier the faster we, as parents and teachers, learn to adapt to the situation to provide the best for our students, I think we are going to win. I think we are going to win the race. Ms. Shabina, do you have any question
Yes,
further?
ma'am.
Because
Yes,
we will be closing the session in another 10 minutes. So if parents, you have any questions further to put, you can put it up in your chat box and we will sort it out and try and answer as many questions as possible in the next 10 minutes. Yes, Ms. Padma.
The next question is, with the self-paced learning that we are working towards, how will the learning curve of a child be assessed?
Yeah. It's a great question. We are working on it as how the assessments should be. What should be the assessment to figure out the learning outcomes and tweak the. See, assessment is for us as teachers. Assessment is not to see what the child has learned, but to see how we can make him learn better, how we can make the child learn better, more, or where has been the gap in our teaching. So we are working on it to figure out what kind of assessments, how frequently we should assess, um, at what junctions we should assess. Should there the combination of formative assessment and summative assessment, that is during the teaching and at the end of teaching, we are working on that. We will discuss with you what would be the assessments, and we would also do a lot of assessments in collaboration with you when we might ask you to do some certain observations, because especially in early childhood years, lot of assessment is observation based. So we will share with you the observation criteria, and we might need you to do certain observations and fill in those criteria for us. Am I right, Shabina?
That's right, ma'am.
Right.
So That will be a combination of things. We'll be doing formative assessments, summative assessments, observation-based assessments. Some of the assessments teachers will be able to do. Some of the assessments we might request for the parents to do along with us or on behalf of us.
Ms. Nivedita, how we plan it, we will share the assessment, like going forward, we will share the kind of assessment. And once school reopens, whether virtually or physically, we will have an orientation also with the parents, guiding them on how we are planning to do the assessments or the assignments. So I
Right, right,
think that will help them because all these will be specific to the grades.
right.
Like the pre-K situation will be different from K2 situation or a grade 1 situation.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
we
one of
will
the,
be
yeah.
guiding parents of individual classes through the orientation as we go into the virtual or physical class once school reopens.
Right. So what is happening is one of the schools that I know what they're doing is they are doing like every time, every month, they have a quick orientation session, grade wise for parents. So it's around a 15-20 minute. It's not a long duration. Around a 15-20 minute orientation and a review of the last month. So they know that okay, this is the overview of the plan, and this is mostly done for the up to grade 3 4 5 fifth grade onwards. A bit the teacher and the child are quite able to manage all of it, but up to grade 3 and 4, the parents are on a regular basis on a little bit of orientation around each module of the session, and that includes the overall learning outcome and the kind of assessments, because a lot of these assessments are project based assessments where children have to do it collaboratively with one or two other classroom friends. So parents will be oriented, parents will be kept in the loop even more than they were done before. So not to be concerned on the side of assessments, because we are all working at it, and there are multiple ways of working on it. World over, a lot of international schools, then lot of remote schools have worked on assessments which are not done in person. They may not have been online, but they may, in some form, they have been offline assessments. So there are methods, there are proven methods. So assessment of learning is not a big concern. Ratna, you have been an IB teacher for a long time. You know how much IB does online assessments, and they're very rigorous and they're very detailed. And if only they help the teacher to know how to plug their lesson plans better.
Yes, because each of the teachers are creating their own rubrics of assessment. So once the rubrics are also shared with the parents, I think that will clarify their doubts, because whether it's formative or summative assessments, it will all be graded. So
Yes.
whether it's going to be a drawing or imaginative writing or a narrative writing or a persuasive writing, whatever it may be, the rubrics will be shared with the parents. So the criteria of assessment will be made clear to the parents, and everything will be graded, so that even if we are not able to meet the students maybe throughout the year, we don't know the situation, but we will have the learning journey, the progress of each individual child recorded. I think that will help us understand the learning journey of the child also, together with the parents.
Yeah, as they say, you can take the school away from the teacher, but not the teaching. She is going to teach. Don't worry, sir. We will
Here,
go.
I have a question that has come from Facebook from Mr. Avinash Darga. My son is 3 years old. He likes playing with kids and doing craft more than sitting in front of a screen. how to keep kids engaged and love doing craft as they are used to enjoy in class.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's great that your child loves doing crafts because the eye-hand coordination, the fine motor skill will be so ready. The child will be so ready to write very soon, and continue to do great art. You discuss with your teacher. She will, and as we have planned arts and crafts session alongside literacy and numeracy, a whole lot of literacy and numeracy for the early years is done by arts and crafts. So you're do not worry at all. The 3-year-old will be very well versed in all literacy and numeracy skills through his love of art. It's a great thing if the child loves craft. I think you've done a good job in exposing the child to arts and crafts and not doing online bubble popping. So great, good job done, parent. We'll be with you to work through the rest of the everything can be taught through arts and crafts. Like literally almost everything.
Right. Even gross motor skills can be
Yeah,
developed
big
fine
time,
in preschools.
big time.
Ms. Shabina, I think you have a few more questions in your kitty. If you can bring them forward because we are running out of time. It's just 12 p.m. I'll request Ms. Nivedita for 5 to 10 more extra minutes of her time
Sure,
because
sure.
we have 2-3 very pertinent questions that are there in our question box.
Sure.
A very important question, Ms. Nivedita, is around the cyber security concerns because the parents are really concerned with the children sitting in front of the laptop, computer,
Yes.
having access to internet. So the cyber security concerns around online sessions, that is a big concern in every parent's mind right now.
Yeah, it is a big concern for us as educators also because here we are telling keep the internet on. And while Google Classroom is one of the safest platforms to work, it is not that the Google Classroom people can't hack into or can't get into. So we are working on a very detailed framework, and we would do a couple of more sessions with the parents as well on how to manage cyber safety for your child online. To begin with, what one would suggest is give them a device, attach it to a larger screen whenever, as often as possible, because it makes it easy for you to monitor the activity without hovering on the child. And it's not that the child will intentionally get into any activity that is not expected out of them. It might happen by chance as well. So we will talk of the softwares to be installed. We will talk of the cautions to be taken. We will talk of the overall making the children more aware of their own safety, because the best protection a person can have is by knowing the safety norms, is by knowing where it lurks. We do it with even our older children for puberty sessions. That what is the best safety for you is to be aware yourself, alongside parental monitoring, alongside teacher monitoring, alongside sessions with teachers, alongside putting frameworks for parents of how to manage cyber safety. A very simple way of managing cyber safety is putting softwares, and another is by giving larger screens where you are aware. And the third thing, so putting software, a large screen, and the third thing is keeping your personal communication channel open with the child, so that at any point in time the child is feeling unsafe, insecure, iffy about a certain situation, the child shares with you, brings it up with you, and has the articulation to share if the child is scared, angry, upset, or unsure. So that those vocabulary, the teachers will work with the children, and they will work with you as well So when the child can express in right vocabulary what the child is feeling, you will know to look at it. So yes, we are cognizant of this. We are working on a international. Actually, internationally, the educators have worked on it. Um, and we will take guidelines from there and share with you, share with our teachers, and share with our children. But these three fundamental things you can keep in mind: having a larger screen, having software installed. We will share with you what kinds of softwares. I'm sure you also know most of it. And the third is keeping your own communication channel open with your child, so that the child can articulate when in doubt.
Miss Sabina, we are running out of time. If you can put your the last two questions before we wind up.
Yeah, just one question, very important again, from a parent's perspective. They want to know how will we switch from online to inline classroom? I mean, if we are looking at blended learning, so how are we going to take care of that?
Good last question to close on it is, because we do hope that we are be able to do blended learning. We do hope that we don't have to stick to online all the time. So what we are looking at, specifically as schools, is we are trying to ensure that whenever we are opening our schools, we look at the value the schools add as a social place, as a social emotional development place. So we will continue with a lot of online classes, but schools will be looked at places for social emotional development, for interactions, as a refuge for children, as a whole lot of peer interaction, places where we can thrive with experiential learning, with working in the lab, with working in science lab, in theater lab, in music lab, in art lab. So laboratory settings will become important. Places where children can do a lot of interaction will become important. So where if we have to prioritize syllabus learning, we will prioritize it online. When we have to prioritize curriculum, overall growth of the child, we will prioritize in physical classroom sessions. If we have to do examinations, we rather do it online, most of the tests, than waste the child's social time doing putting them on individual desks and testing. So board exam maybe physically, but all the rest of the testing and exams online. Lesson online, interaction physically. So we will try to see the strengths of online and use the strengths of physical classroom and school setup. We will try to blend the strengths of each of those spaces, if I may call, and hope to bring the best to the children. We hope it to not be a 0 year. We hope it to be we hope it to be a year to remember, when we all rose to occasion and we didn't let our social emotional ties. In fact, isn't it, aren't we realizing how important it is to how important relationships are at this point in time? So we are valuing the real values. So I'm sure the schools which had become places to only impart syllabus uh, will also undergo transformation and value the relationship between the teacher and the child, and value the relationship between the child and the child. Um, so yes, it will be. Um, I can only look forward to blended learning.
Um, Rightly said, Miss Nivedita, because that's all about life, how we can connect with people. And this is a situation which has brought us to reality where we are actually beautifully connecting to people. in spite of the challenges. So that is, to me, that is a new learning. That is a new learning. How are we making the best opportunity, taking the best learning opportunity from the given situation? So, I'm sure there will be many more such sessions for parents to discuss their concerns with us. Parents, we are open to your queries and your suggestions how to make it better, because in our journey forward, we have to make it the best for our students, and we can only do that maintaining the partnership. I thank Ms. Nivedita for her time, and thank you, Shabina, for putting in your queries and questions forward. That is really going to help the parents. Ms. Nivedita, again, once again, thank you.
Privilege.
I thank the admin team, as well as DigiPro for setting up the webinar session for us. And thank you, parents, for coming up here on a Sunday morning, and especially the mothers. I hope we have been able to satisfy your concerns with Ms. Nivedita. Ms. Nivedita, a few closing lines from your end.
Thank you, thank you. It has been a privilege, and it has been a joy hearing hearing parents. You know, were missing that otherwise, and it has been a joy working out with teachers the big hairy problems that are facing us. But it is something that we are working as. Finally, isn't it 21st century skill to just take it on? It's a life skill building for us, for our
Real life problems.
real life problems, a real life problem.
Experiential learning in its true
Yes,
essence.
yes, we're doing that. So hang in there, parents. We are there with you. We are there with our children. Lot of it will become easier for us to work with, because we're just getting smarter, aren't we?
I am, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great Sunday and very happy Mother's Day to each of us.
And I am sure we will ride the high tide, the stormy waves.
Thank you.
Thank you once again, parents, while we close the session. And we will share the proceedings with you in the coming week.